All right, welcome back to Tennis Talk Daily. We are through now with day one of the Australian Open, and it has been a very interesting day. I'm in Boston. We're not going to get started with day two, given the time difference, until 7 p.m. Boston time. And there's some great stuff coming up. I mean, it's still the first round. I have to remind myself each time you go into these big Grand Slams how many players there are and how slow the initial rounds are. Of course, it speeds up as things thin out. But the first day of round one in the men's draw resulted in a couple of upsets. As I said before, Jack Sock, the American, lost to Sujita in a very good match. I saw a couple of the highlights, but Sock struck out. Apparently, the injury was too much for him. We also saw Kevin Anderson lose, who had been a finalist in the final with Nadal at the 2017 U.S. Open. He's out in the first round. We saw John Isner strike out in the first round. Over on the women's side, it's been just a devastating blow in a way, and a lot of opportunities arise. Venus Williams is out in the first round. The defending U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens is out in the first round. But we have a lot of interesting stuff. Nothing's too strange so far on the men's side. There's nothing too bizarre and extraordinary to mention. Everybody loses in tennis. It's an unpredictable game. It's one of the things that I love about it so much. But I will say this, nothing is too surprising so far. But as we get into tomorrow, it's going to be really interesting. As I had mentioned before, also we saw Nick Kyrgios and Rafael Nadal, as well as Grigor Dimitrov, deliver some very strong performances against fairly weak opponents, to be quite honest. So we don't want to put too much significance in those early victories from strong players like Nadal, for example, and Dimitrov. And Nick Kyrgios has been playing quite well. So it's not surprising those guys are getting by in the first round with relative ease. But beginning at 7 p.m. Boston time, day two is beginning and will be beginning, and there's going to be some great stuff happening on the men's side, and I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes giving you a preview of the matches that will begin 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. That's more like, I think, 1 p.m. Australian time. So, who are we going to see on day two of the Australian Open in the men's draw? Well, there's going to be some great matches. Alexander Zverev is taking on Fabiano, an Italian player who has some strong pieces of his game. We're going to see Sam Querrey play. We're going to see David Goffin play. We're going to see Stan Wawrinka play his match against Berankis. We're going to see Richard Gasquet. We're also going to see. It's the remainder of the field, and some very, very strong talent. There's going to be Monfils, there's going to be playing, there's going to be Djokovic, who's going against the American Young. There's Dominic Thiem, who's going to be playing a match. Misha Zverev, Alexander's brother, is going to then be playing as well. And then, of course, our I don't want to say God, but certainly our GOAT is going to be playing, and that will be Roger Federer, who is going to be playing his first round match. Now, that match won't be beginning in Boston time until tomorrow early in the morning, 3 a.m. apparently. Things will be changed, and there always are. But we're also going to see Berdych as well as Del Potro is going to be playing. And then after the Del Potro and the Federer matches are the final matches of the first round, and then we're going to get into the second round. So those matches are going to be crucial. I expect great things from Federer, but I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of competition on his hands. What's going to be really interesting is to see what the Stanimal Stan Wawrinka can do in his first round match, how he's looking. Djokovic also we need to really look at. Psychologically, he appears to be a little... he has not found his sort of bearings yet on the one hand, but on the other hand, he's got some great new coaches with Agassi. He's sort of reformulated his serve, and everybody's waiting to see how that happens, but it looked fine in the Thiem match, in the exhibition match earlier, so it's going to be interesting to see what Djokovic can do, but there is so much coming, and again, I would just reiterate, there's so much talent in this year's Australian Open. I might have some other comments today. Again, the matches aren't going to get underway again until 7 p.m. Boston time, so I'll do a post probably later tonight, but I won't get to talk about Roger Federer much at all. Now listen, these early round matches are, again, we shouldn't invest them with too much significance, because generally the matches are pretty weighted in favor of the top seeded players, to be quite honest. But the interesting thing here is you have a bit of a distortion in the rankings in light of the injuries that have occurred in 2017. So you have a Djokovic that's ranked, lower than he should be. You have a Stan Wawrinka ranked lower than he should be. And so that's making things sort of interesting. But again, we've got a very strong performance from Rafa. There's some question marks about Djokovic. I would say, besides Federer, I'm really looking forward. I mean, Federer's already shown himself to be in pretty fine form in 2018. So my real question is to some degree the Stanimal, but also Djokovic. I really need to get a hold on how Djokovic is going to be playing in sort of serious match court and match settings where the pressure's on, and we're going to have to see how he can do, because with him, it's a lot about the psychology. Talk soon. Make sure to subscribe. You're going to get the essential tennis commentary here and pretty much nowhere else, although I keep saying Matt Bradshaw is so awesome over there at Coffee Break Tennis, and he is. But you can afford to subscribe to a couple of different talk show tennis channels. This one is mainly talk. It's not as quite... He's funnier than I am. I'll maybe try to work in a little more humor. That's probably going to happen. But for now, it's kind of, it's forthright. It's serious commentary. I want to talk about this, but I want to joke around about it too, because ultimately, I guess it is just a game. So let's have fun with this as we observe this historic Australian Open. Subscribe, like the page. Talk to you soon. Bye.